Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. The case that I'm going to be looking into today is, well, it's an unsolved case. It is that of Stacey Brooke Holsonback, and I would love to know what your thoughts are on this one because, yeah, kind of seems obvious to a lot of people, but it's the fact that it cannot be proved, I guess, that's like hindering it, which is just so annoying. This case was suggested by Docs. Thank you for that. I appreciate any suggestions you guys have. And of course, if you have any more, please do let me know. Stacey was a kind, intelligent, really lovely young girl. She was born on the 1st of October in 1978 to parents Warren and Debbie. She was the first of the set of 3 children, and she was born in South Carolina in the US. The town that she actually grew up in was called Prosperity. She was known as a very intelligent girl. She was very happy when she was young, very social. She was very entertaining as well. I can't actually remember the name of her sister, but her father went on to say that they didn't need a television in their home because Brooke and one of her sister would be their entertainment. Like, they would constantly be singing and dancing and things like that, and they just loved it. I just want to say here as well, Stacey was known a lot by Brooke, I believe. So I'm probably going to use her name as Brooke throughout this case. So it seems like people used to call her by her middle name. Stacey was the head of cheerleading. She did really well in school. She got really brilliant grades, and she even got offered a place quite early on to attend Clemson University. So that just goes to show how intelligent she was. And they basically said that she could do whatever she wanted, like any scholarship or whatever she wanted to do. And that is what she did. She went to that university and she started her biochemistry major. She wanted to go into possibly cancer research, which is such an admirable job, and obviously we need so many people on that because cancer is horrific. It affects so many people, and just at this point we need cures, people. So yeah, it was an amazing career to go into and just to help people who suffered from cancer. Sadly though, she would never get that far. She attended this university, for 6 months before her life was abruptly ended. So, on the 19th of February in 1977, Brooke and 2 male friends, I believe they were friends anyway, went out and did something called mudbogging. I don't know whether you're on whether you're in a car, whether you're in what are they called? Like an ATV or something like that. I don't know how they actually do it. But they went out doing this. Apparently, whatever vehicle they were in, the car or whatever it was, got stuck in the mud. And the 2 boys, who were Brian Gallup and Jeff Dubansky, basically said that they started having this little scuffle and this argument, and then Brooke just simply walked off. And they never saw her again. Apparently, both the boys had been drinking too. And Brooke never went back to her dorm room that night. Her roommate reported her missing the next day. Sadly, they went out looking for Brooke and they did find her. They found her body in Lake Hartwell. And obviously, the first thing that you're thinking is, these boys have said she's walked off. It is pitch black. Who knows what happened? Maybe she had been drinking herself. She ended up in the water and sadly drowned. But that wasn't the case. Drowning was not a cause of death. It was strangulation. Yeah. It was also concluded in an autopsy that she had probably been assaulted too, of a sexual nature. The annoying thing about this case is she was found in the river, right? There'd been a massive downpour as well, so the weather was horrific. And whatever evidence may have been on her body was completely washed away. They found no evidence on her whatsoever. So they obviously talked to the last people that were seen with her, which was Jeff and Byron, and they basically said the story that, they were out there, they got stuck, they had a little bit of a tiff, and Brooke just walked off and they didn't see her again. Police didn't really believe that. They didn't really believe that Brooke would have just walked off in the middle of the night and just, alone. And I don't know whether I believe that either. Her dorm was quite a decent walk away as well, and it was pitch black, so yeah. And annoyingly, again, the police didn't have any evidence to prove that this wasn't the case. When they were talking to Jeff, they'd seen that he had these bite marks on him, but he just said, and scuff marks, and he just said that he got them whilst he was scuffling with Byron. There's also some strange things going on as well. One of the boys claimed that they were actually stood watching as the police retrieved her body out of the water, which is a strange thing to do. Very strange. And that he was crying as well. When they asked why he was crying, he said that he knew something bad had happened to her. Again, police did not believe these two boys whatsoever, but they had no evidence to prove anything else. They couldn't prove that Brooke did not walk off that night and didn't meet foul play with somebody else. You know, they couldn't prove anything. They still wanted to follow these boys though. They moved out of town eventually and they put Byron, I'm probably not saying that right. Byron? I don't know how to say his name. Sorry about that. Well, am I really that sorry if he did this to Brooke? Probably not. But they were put on surveillance and they took that as a joke. He was running red lights. He was doing silly things like that and laughing and joking about it because he knew that they were surveilling him. And the boys were never named as suspects in Brooke's murder because, again, they just have no evidence. The police really believe that one or both of them did this to her. Or, well, maybe not them, but, well, they gave an inkling that they know who did this, but they just can't prove it. So, I mean, who else would it have been, right? Who else will they think it is, kind of thing. They never released anybody else's names. Like I said, they weren't ever said as suspects, but obviously they were questioned and whatnot, and their names feature heavily in this case, so surely they're thinking it's them, right? Basically, they think that one or both of the boys made a sexual pass on Brooke, that she probably rejected them, and this is when they just did it anyway, and then murdered her, getting rid of her body in the river to make it look like she had drowned. Then they would give themselves of an alibi of the car being stuck, both be able to certify each other's alibi, and then that's that. But was there something else in the case? Was it really the truth that they had gotten stuck and Brooke had walked off and there was somebody else lurking in the shadows that night? We don't actually know. From what the police are saying, they honestly believe that they know who did it, and my opinion would be that they are thinking those two boys did it, but we don't actually know that. What we do know though is that Brooke losing her life in such a way is absolutely heartbreaking. She was 6 months into her university. She had her whole life ahead of her. She was 18 years old, and her family, she was like the apple of her father's eye. He absolutely adored her. They miss her so much, and it's just so heartbreaking that her life was cut so short. I hope one day that this case does get solved. You know, her family and Brooke deserve justice for what happened to her. But yeah, that's all I have today on this case. If you guys enjoyed the video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you really want to. And that is all I have on the case of Brooke Holsonback. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, bye.